Chapter 7, question 1 asks you, what is a mole? And a mole is a group of stuff. But what makes one group a mole and another group not is the specific number of things in the group. So for example, you know that a pair, is a group of two, so it's two of something. And it doesn't matter what the thing is. You could have a pair of shoes or a pair of socks. You know that a dozen is 12 of something. And it doesn't matter what the thing is. You could have a dozen eggs, a dozen donuts. Well, a mole is the same sort of thing, except instead of the number being 2 or 12, the number is 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd power of something. That number is enormous. If you were to think, let's just try to imagine that number. If you were to have a mole of peas, like you eat for dinner, it would cover the entire surface of the Earth, 900 feet deep. If you were born and I was feeling generous and I gave you a mole of dollars, and the moment you were born, every second you started giving away $1 billion, and you lived to be 80 years old, and throughout your whole life, every second you gave away $1 billion, you would still have over 3/4 of the money I gave you. So a mole is an almost unfathomably large number, and yet the thing to take away from it is that we are unfathomably large. We're made of unfathomably large amounts of atoms. It's because we're made of so many atoms that the mole is such a useful unit in chemistry. Every time you exhale, you breathe out more atoms than there are stars in our galaxy. Enormous, unthinkable numbers. And if we were just to keep track of the number of atoms or molecules, the numbers we would deal with would be so unintuitive and large and awkward all the time because we are so galactically large. But what you can do in chemistry is you can, instead of talking about individual atoms, you can put them in enormous groups, moles. And then the numbers become simpler. Instead of having 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd of something, you just have one mole. So you put these enormous numbers of atoms and molecules into this gigantic group so that the numbers will become more straightforward and intuitive. So that's what a mole is. It's a group of 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd of something, and it's used in order to make the numbers that we deal with in chemistry more intuitive.